Nathan turned to meet this new threat head-on and arched his broadsword up towards Hagar. Clang! Hagar was able to block in time, but the strength of Nathan's blow sent his sword flying out of his hands. Bam! As Hagar's feet met the ground, the pommel of Nathan's own sword smashed into his chest, sending him flying back into the bodies of their other two companions. Boris's desperate charge finally reached Nathan, who swiftly parried Boris's weak thrust and then counterattacked with a shallow slash to the stomach. Boris crumpled to the ground immediately, bleeding and already unconscious from the force of the blow. But rather than finish off his main adversary, Nathan frowned and turned his attention back to Hagar. Hagar still lay on the ground around his companions. His face was pale, and a slight trickle of red flowed from the corner of his mouth. All he could see was the wood-paneled ceiling of the store above him, and all he could taste was the metallic flavor of his own blood. Hagar's sword arm fell numb as well, as if his muscles had burst from the effort of blocking Nathan's blow. He was certain that if he moved, he would begin coughing up more blood. Suddenly, his view of the ceiling was eclipsed by that of Nathan looming over him. The tip of Nathan's blade rested just above his throat. Nathan glared angrily down at Hagar and had half a mind to finish him off immediately. "You treacherous scumbag! You sought to hit me from the back like a coward? I thought you said you were a man of honor." Hagar hacked up blood as he tried to speak. He could barely get a word out, as Nathan had seeped his Asura weakening aura attack into his body during the blow he landed to his face. "I am a man of honor, second, but a loyal friend, the first." Well, you could have at least bothered to announce your intentions instead of launching such a sneak attack. That at least I would have respected. "Do what you will. I meant only to save my comrade." Nathan's brow furrowed. Despite his enemy's sneak attack, he hesitated to execute them now that they crawled around beneath them. He could tell from the look in Amelia's frightened eyes that she would never forgive him if he did. Nathan sighed and was considering what to do with his blade as it hovered over Hagar's neck, and a familiar voice boomed into the shop. "Nathan, wait, please, set down your sword." At this pivotal moment, Sir Ian Lightstone rushed into the medicinal shop and was closely trailed by Sarah Hale. As they both came onto the scene, Nathan lowered his blade and quickly cleaned it before resheathing it. Sir Ian shook his head at the carnage he'd arrived at. Blood spatter covered the walls of the shop, while Boris lay unconscious, breathing slowly in a pool of his own blood that seeped from his arm wound and his broken nose. Hagar, meanwhile, being helped up into the sitting position by his two other companions. Slowly, Sir Ian casually glanced at all of them and walked towards Nathan, while Sarah Hale's eyes widened in shock. This was not the bloody scene she'd been expecting to find. Boris, a level 4 apprentice, and Hagar, a level 7 apprentice, had both been utterly destroyed by Nathan, who was at least 2 years younger than all of them. From the looks of it, had Sir Ian not arrived in time, the two noble boys from Harold's Land might have died. Sir Ian smiled awkwardly as he met Amelia's gaze. She came forward from the back of the store. "Lady Hayfield, so good to see you again. Nice to see you as well, Sir Ian. If you'll excuse me for a moment, I'd like to try my best to treat the wounds my brother has inflicted." "Of course, please, go right ahead." Sir Ian's heart skipped a beat as he watched Amelia grab her medicine bag from the counter and begin to examine the two wounded boys. Finally, his attention snapped back to Nathan as he cleared his throat. Sir Ian smiled as he realized his hand was on the hilt of his sword. He took his hand off of it and offered it to Nathan. "Well, I understand that this all happened today because of a gift for my sister's birthday party. Fortunately, from the look of things, nobody died, so the situation can be dealt with simply. I suggest we all take a deep breath and try our best to put this issue behind us. Agreed?" Nathan nodded his head and shook Sir Ian's hand. "Of course, Sir Ian. After all, only here to try to make your sister happy. I promise not to make any more trouble with them." After finishing his greetings with Nathan, Sir Ian turned his attention to Hagar Haroldson, who finished weakly drinking from a water skin that Sarah brought him. "Young Master Hagar, I've learned a lot about you. Oh, pardon my manners. I'm Sir Ian Lightstone." Hagar barely managed to move his hands into a thumbs-up sign. Hagar smiled up at Sir Ian and spoke as blood slowly dripped out of his mouth. "Apologies, good sir. I am in no great state to meet you." "Young Master Hagar, as this was all over a minor squabble regarding a gift for my sister's celebration, why don't we put this matter to rest, huh? We didn't wish for anything like this to happen today, and your willingness to let this go would be the best gift you could give our house. What do you say?" Hagar's expression grew puzzled, but he nodded his head. "So what if I agree to squash the beef between my kin and the Hayfields? Not like I have much of a choice in the matter anyways. Wouldn't want to face that Nathan boy in combat ever again if I could help it. Besides, if I dared pursue the matter further, it could escalate into an all-out conflict between our fiefdoms. So, no use in fretting over this." Hagar coughed harshly, then spoke clearly for the first time since the duel. "Excellent. Well, since you've been so gracious as to look over this small matter, let's just put it all past us, shall we? Besides, I'll take responsibility. Nathan Hayfield is a friend of yours, after all. I hope that in the future we can meet under more desirable circumstances, for his strength is not a joke. Would hope that one day we could even speak as allies." Sir Ian nodded his head profusely and looked back over at Nathan, who'd overheard Hagar's words. Nathan simply shrugged and smiled as if to say, "Perhaps one day we shall see." Hagar smiled at Nathan's response. "I'll take that as a maybe. Even so, that's better than nothing. I'll win you over yet. Just wait and see, starting with an apology. Once Boris wakes up, I'll be sure to have him write one to you as well." At that, Nathan smiled. "Very well, then. I look forward to it." Sarah Hale frowned at both of them. "I don't understand you two at all. One minute you're threatening each other, and the next you're chatting about a future friendship?" Hagar took another painful swig of water and chuckled. Hagar knew the issue was partially his fault, after all. He had encouraged Boris to bring him the flour as soon as they entered the store, even though he had already noticed Nathan moving towards it. At the time, he didn't care. Now, though, he thought that perhaps this interaction was a good thing. Sure, it would take many weeks to fully heal, but a few years down the line, having Nathan at his side might prove useful. After all, Hagar wasn't the only one with a rightful claim to inherit his father's dukedom, and he'd need powerful warriors at his side if he was to successfully obtain his inheritance one day. Nathan, on the other hand, never expected Hagar to handle this situation so well. He was pleasantly surprised by this turn of events, and nodded respectfully towards his former adversary. Nathan was even more impressed when Hagar managed to stand up on his own without the help of his companions. He turned to his followers and pointed over to Boris, whose wounds were actively being sewn up by Amelia. "You two, go take Boris to a healer at once. Thankfully, Lady Hayfield's help has stabilized him well." His two weaker subordinates nodded and immediately went over to Boris without a fuss. Regardless of their own personal feelings, they knew that Hagar was wise not to hold a grudge against such a powerful young warrior. Soon, they had dragged the unconscious body of Boris out of the shop. After that was done, Hagar shuffled over to Sarah, who helped support him upright as he faced Nathan, Amelia, and Sir Ian. "Despite everything, it was a pleasure meeting you all today, but I must go now and take my leave. I have many health potions to drink now before I can make it to the celebration tonight. Hagar knew that he needed to rest up. He was going to make it to the birthday party later that evening, and he knew it was best to rebuild his relationship with the Hayfields slowly over time. Moreover, he knew that he needed to contact one of his father's men and have them investigate Nathan's background more thoroughly. As Hagar bid them all farewell and shuffled toward the door, Sarah looked over her shoulder at Nathan and shook her head in disbelief. She still couldn't fully comprehend what had happened.
"See you all tonight, I guess."
Nathan beamed at her as she opened the door and left the store with Hagar.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.